Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to episode 38 of Tiger Heart Chats. We're at ISE 2026. It's the largest it's ever been. It's always getting big. I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to be doing this partnership with ISE again for this podcast. I've got a wonderful guest for you. She's someone that I've just started working with over the last few months. We've had a couple of conversations. We worked on a couple of campaigns together. And just from working with her and talking to her, I could kind of see that this person has got a lot to say about her industry. And I really believe that her perspective on how she executes her craft, which we'll talk about in a second, is really interesting. I think that you guys listening will get a lot of value from this discussion. So please, without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage the wonderful marketing executive from 19 Group, Amy Dennis.
Everyone, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. It's your first ISE, right?
First ISE, and wow, it is mega.
Yeah?
I had visions of it being big. Everyone told me, just prepare yourself, but I don't think anyone can tell you how huge on large scale it is.
Yep.
It's great. There is so much to explore here.
I'll be honest with you, I've been coming for quite a few years now, and just seeing that growth over the last few years has been just crazy. Literally this year, I couldn't believe they've just built another 2 halls.
Yeah.
So it's just baffling. There's going to be people that listen to this podcast who don't know who you are, and they should. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I'm still, 3 years into my career now. So I'm still at the younger end of it. I did an events degree at Brighton, International Events Management.
Yep.
I'd say my career into the industry isn't a conventional one. I never really dreamed of going to uni. I'd always preferred to kind of leave college, get a job, train on the job, much more of a practical learner.
Yeah.
So, however, COVID had other plans.
Yes.
There was no opportunity for me to get a job in the events industry.
Right.
In-person events were just vanished.
Yes, of course.
So I kind of looked at it a bit strategically. I was like, right, I'll go to uni, study while the industry recovers, which kind of worked out quite well timing-wise. So I graduated in 2023 when life was getting a bit more back to normal. Yep. I took some time out after that and got my first job as a marketing exec trainee in quite a niche market, teleradiology.
Okay.
So I was on the in-house team.
And what is teleradiology?
Teleradiology. What is it? So our company, we employed a group of radiologists, right, who would read X-rays that the NHS outsourced to us. Yep. So it was to help with the backlogs that the NHS got over COVID. Right. So it was to speed up the process. It was really interesting. I learned a lot, which I never thought I would going into the NHS, but it was great, and that kind of really, it was very heavily events based, that role. Got you. So as well with marketing, supporting campaigns for the wider marketing team. So that was kind of my first where I dipped my toe into marketing. And
what were they trying to communicate just with regards to their marketing message?
So it was to help patient backlogs. Right. Really. Okay.
So they were a solution for that.
Yeah, very solution based. Yeah. So there was 2 sides of it. So we were driving campaigns to support the acquisition and retention of our employed radiologists. Yep. But also from a sales side. So we were doing a lot of marketing to get clients, which were NHS trusts. Got you. So there was 2 sides of it, 2 sides of marketing, very different messages, which was great because I learned, I guess, double the amount.
I was going to say, because it sounds like a bit of a baptism of fire. So like your first role, very, embellished narrative, very specific to a very niche. I mean, I'm assuming you didn't know anything about radiology beforehand.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I was going in blind.
So you had to learn all that information quickly, and then, so you honed your craft on that role, I guess.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I guess, I was new to marketing at that point as well. So it was a steep learning curve, but I learned some great foundations, which I've now carried into my role at 19 Group.
So tell us about 19. So you've been there since June?
Since June last year.
Yeah, and tell us about that role.
So whereas before at teleradiology company, I was the brand kind of attending with these big large scale events like ISE. I'm now on the flip side. I drive and execute lead generation campaigns to get visitors and exhibitors to our events that we host.
Awesome.
Yes.
And how many events is that?
So I'm on the Safety and Security Event Series portfolio, which is 6 co-located events.
Wow, okay.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
But it's great. I mean, the pace of the industry, it's dynamic, it's fun. You've got to be pretty agile, think on your feet, which can be stressful sometimes, but also that's part of the fun of it.
Yep.
So I'm absolutely loving it.
So it's interesting. That's one of the things I noticed about you from when we met is that you are very agile and you're very, you think on your feet, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get you in here. So that's how you got into the industry. You were you had a yearning to get into events, but you went the marketing route first.
Yeah.
And that's led you into this event space. Why did you want to get into events? Was it specifically for events like ISE, or were you into other types of events? Just talk to us about that.
I just love the in-person aspect of it.
Right.
I think in a world where everything is going digital, there's just an element that digital just can't cut it for people. Like we need contact, we need to be talking to people. And I just think events, like you build these huge events and it becomes like a mini city for like 3-4 days, however long it is, and it's a chance for like the industry to come together, people to catch up with old contacts, forge new contacts and partnerships. And I just think it's a time where you work hard throughout the whole year. It's a time where you can celebrate your industry and just really drive business forward. That's
amazing. And it's a testament because that's one of the reasons why ISE is so big, is because they service the events industry or the presentation industry or theatre or music or whatever. And I've noticed that as well over the last few years, particularly, that even though digital is becoming a dirtier and dirtier word as we get engulfed in like all of this information and content, it's quite clear that the live event or the live experience, whatever that is, whether it's a musical event or just a meeting, as you say, is starting to have more value.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I just think there has been so many times if you look at the history of the world, there's been so many times where we've had things threaten events to go like extinct, like with big like epidemics or whatever, but every time they've come back. And I just think it reinforces like the need for them. And that, again, that human contact, like I think we all get it. You sit on a Teams call and you're like, oh, it's a bit awkward. I don't know when to talk. I don't know when to, like, I just don't think you get that feeling you do through like in person. And as well with marketing, digital marketing, it's great. You can reach such like vast audiences, but in person is where you really like double down, you bring it home, you can experience the product or service that you're selling.
Absolutely. And the viral moments that I've noticed here are coming from the in-person experience. So I'm on the Avixa Exchange Live. Right next to us is I'm not going to say the name of the brand, but they've got this screen there, which is awesome. But every sort of few hours they have a robot that starts dancing with a real person, and they basically just do this dance, and it's got nothing to do with the technology, but everyone's got their phones out filming it because it's that in person, even though it's dancing with a robot, but it's that kind of real experience that they're seeing that's making them engage. So real experiences are so important. Let's start talking about your marketing as a craft, because you kind of, I don't want to say you fell into it, but it wasn't your initial place. But it's quite clear that you understand how to market, and you're obviously very good at your job from seeing the work that you've done. How do you feel about that? Because you've come in as a events professional, and now you're a marketing professional. Obviously, you're focusing on events, but your kind of functions changed a little bit.
Yeah, I guess I like to think of it as blended. The two things that I really enjoy. I guess there's always a bit of a competition between sales and marketing, I think.
Right.
I think when you work together, the messaging and the brand identity, everything, that's the first touch point that people see throughout the journey. And I just think it's so vital, and powerful. The message that you put out, to really understand your target audience and what makes them tick, I think is extremely important, because then you can tailor that messaging. You can communicate their fears and objections and reassure them before they even think about it, and kind of just reinforce that what you're selling and marketing is the solution and is what they need. I just think it's madness how psychology also plays a huge part in it.
Oh, absolutely. Like understanding human behavior, understanding human needs, how they connect with a message or a story, as you said. Amazing. So we touched on digital, and we kind of talked about how digital, even though it's useful, has its issues. We're drowning in data. Which single metric do you think is the most overrated, and which one is the most ignored?
Overrated. I think a lot of people probably say this. Reach.
Okay.
And views. I think it's amazing. It's fun. It's exciting to like go viral and everything. But I think if it's virality in front of people who don't know and who are never going to use what you're marketing, then it's just redundant. They'll probably maybe like it if it's funny, and then move on. And that first touch point won't really mean anything because they're not going to follow through. To have a conversation with your sales team or like sign up to your event if that's what you're marketing. So I think a smaller bit of content going to a much more condensed but highly targeted audience is just so much more valuable, because it's just going to be that first touch point. They engage with it, they're going to remember it more, and come back for more. And
also it's more relevant to them and useful to
100%.
them. Yeah, it's so interesting you say that, because I know lots of creatives who are desperate for that virality, and some of them get it, but there's nothing after it, if that makes sense. And they kind of lose their, I guess, their drive within where they were from what they got from something, and they're kind of a bit bitter about it. So I think you're right. It's really important. If you're going to communicate something, it needs to be right for the right people. You talk about funny content. Obviously, funny content engages with such a wide audience, but sometimes that can be really not right to you as a brand or your company as a brand, I guess. Because it's not communicating what you ultimately want to communicate. You get customers. Which one do you think is the most ignored?
Most ignored. Sharing.
Okay.
I think reposting if it's LinkedIn. Although it doesn't directly link to like a commercial outcome, for example, like an event registration or booking a stand or something, I think it's the most underrated, because if people share it or repost it, they're essentially saying, I relate to this.
Yes.
I agree with this message. I back this brand. So they essentially become a free ambassador. Really. That then gets shared to their network of people who trust them. And it's just that credibility piece, really. Which I think is extremely powerful. And that's why partnerships are really valuable to us as an events company.
Wow. Do you know what, Amy, I'm so glad you say that, because you guys, 19 Group, reached out to me. And I really believe, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up, at 19 and the team, but like a positive smoke, by the way. But like, I do feel like we have a really strong partnership.
Absolutely.
And it's quite clear there's going to be some positive gains from the things that we're doing. That's really important. And those of you listening, like, have a think about that. What is a best practice in marketing right now that you think is actually a total waste of time?
It's going to be a social media one.
Right.
Posting every day, or getting 3-4 posts out a week just because you have to.
Right.
I think if you haven't got a message to share, then you don't need to. As long as if you're posting consistently, I think it should be strategic. And every post has to have a specific outcome that you want for your business, your objectives or your campaign, whatever you're doing. I think if you're just posting for the sake of it, just for a checkbox to say, yeah, I posted on Tuesday, then depending on the message, I think it could potentially have a bit more harm than do good. So I think if you're posting, make sure it's with intent. Make sure who you're talking to, and the message you want to put out there.
So how do you design for that? And that's quite a specific question, but you as a marketeer, when you're working on a campaign for, let's say, 19 Group or one of the companies you work for, how do you design for that? How much time do you allocate? Tell us about your thought process on that.
I think it's quite easy to get wrapped up in the smaller, like, day-to-day bits. So I kind of take a look at the overall aim. What campaign is it linking to? What is the overall big outcome you want your target audience? What is the action that you want them to do?
Right.
Whether it's fill out a lead form or register for the event. And then you can break it down and work back.
Okay.
So then you move on to, okay, who's my audience? What kind of messaging do they respond to? Do they prefer video-led content? Do they prefer stats, emotional language? And then you can start to create the foundations for what your content will look like.
Right. That's amazing. That's heavy. And then just from the things that you've been doing, what have you worked on that you've been really proud of?
Oh, that is a good question. I would say, and this isn't a cop-out just because I'm here, I think the partnerships for Pro Integration Future Europe, I think because it is all of our events, they're live, they're in person,
but
because it's such an immersive industry, I think forming those partnerships have been so valuable. And there's, like, the sky's the limit, which is what 19 Group really back. They really push you to be innovative and drive forward your ideas and try and experiment, which is something I really value. And that is especially possible with this industry, I think, because there is so much immersive tech. The industry is moving at such a pace. So you've got to try new things to keep up.
Absolutely. And it is a people business. Even though what you're seeing is technology focused, some people may assume it's quite rigid, but it's not. It's people people buy people, or people want to work with people. I totally understand that. So you've been at IC just under 24 hours, like 20 hours, I guess, roughly. Yeah. What have you seen so far that's like really inspired you this season?
I would say the demos that each exhibitor have. I've been to industry events before, but this just takes it to like a whole new level. And you see, like you mentioned earlier, people then taking photos and videos, and then they're going to be sharing and tagging people and the company on their socials and everything. And it just brings together like the whole industry, really. I think it's amazing.
Awesome. Okay. A couple of sort of curveball questions I want to throw at you, if that's okay. Last 3 years, there's been a big buzzword, which is artificial intelligence. It's had a huge impact on lots of creative businesses for various reasons. What I've seen, particularly in the home space, that AI is starting to become kind of integrated into experiences at your home, whether it's like having a robot doing the cleaning or something really, I guess, utility focused, like some sort of appliance that you use has some form of AI. How are you using AI at the moment, and what are your thoughts about it?
As a company?
No, as you as a
person.
As a creative, I guess.
Creative. You know what? I try and steer away from AI for copywriting.
Okay.
Just because I think it is so generic, and I think we have the danger of posts sounding the same.
Yep.
In terms of, how am I using it as a creative? So we've, it's not too creative, but it does link to the campaigns that I've been working on.
Yep.
Concierge services and the kind of a matchmaking service, really.
Right.
So I think using AI to join people's interests at events, for example.
Right.
So if you were a visitor coming and you wanted to, this event is huge. There's no way that you can get around it in 4 days.
It's impossible.
Yeah. So we're launching a new partnership where visitors can say, I'm a marketing executive from blah, 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 I'm interested in these companies. Please put a list of all the companies relevant that are exhibiting, and then you can, literally knock yourself out, get your plan together, and then just do it so much more efficiently. Whereas before, I think you would have spent days trawling the list. So it's not so much creative that I'm using it, but more for efficiency, I think.
Well, it's a creative. You're using it creatively to help you become more efficient. Yeah. No, that's cool. Thanks so much for that. And has that been launched yet?
It's going to be launched for our series in April.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
perfect timing.
Yeah.
Good to see some stats on that. Have you ever do you use it for data, like helping you find out things about information about companies or?
We do, for companies, and also our own metrics as well.
Yeah.
From a marketing point of view, looking at our socials, our email campaigns, everything. It's the uses that you can have with it. Whereas before you would have been spent ages looking through, okay, that click-through rate was not as good as the week before, and then you'd just spend weeks looking back at previous campaigns. It just pulls it immediately.
Nice.
And then you can really home in on, okay, what worked well, what should we then double down on and put more of our time and resources into, what didn't go so well, and then not use it again, learn from it, and then put our resources into trying something new.
Awesome. Let's talk about you as a professional. You talked about where you started. What's your focus for your career? What do you want to become?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
I really love marketing, but tying it to tangible commercial outcomes for the business. So
talk to us about that.
I think there's a lot of perception, maybe increasingly so, that marketing isn't valuable for businesses.
Yeah.
Or certain sides of marketing isn't too valuable. There's a lot of conversation about product market fit. If you've got the right product, you don't need to market it, or it markets itself. But I think that's true to an extent, but the power that marketing has, I just think there's not enough people that know about it or recognise it.
Right.
But it's kind of hard to prove that until people put in the money and time.
Invest the value.
Exactly, yeah.
And so how does that relate to your vision, where you want to go?
So where do I want to go? I want to, essentially, I want to specialise in psychological marketing.
You talked about this. This is what I wanted to get into.
It fascinates me.
Yeah. So talk to us about that.
Just for example, Stanley.
Yeah.
They have, I don't want to use the word manipulated, but changed our thinking to, they've sold water bottles and then marked the price up to $40 or how much they call. But they've made us think that it is valuable.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so. Yeah, it's powerful, and if we can take that kind of strategy towards any product, as long as you're solving a solution for someone, then you can really apply the messaging and get a good strategy together to put your solution in front of the right people and really home in on that value that it can give them.
Yeah. And then just with regards to, marketers that you look up to that focus on the human psychology, is there any that you can name or any that you've read that you like?
One beginner, I think you might know Rory Sutherland.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fascinates me.
Awesome.
I think it's just his thinking is that when you listen to a podcast or read a book that he's written, Alchemy, have you heard of that?
I heard of it. I haven't read it, but I've heard it's supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. And he just takes the most he takes real world problems and just gives the most simple solutions.
Right.
And you read it and you think, why didn't I think of that? I think in marketing, it's so easy to overcomplicate things and put on a big show. We're the best, we're the biggest of this, that, limited. There's so many buzzwords that are used. But really, people are people and people trust people. And I think you just need to talk to them. in their language, how they will understand your message. And I think that's what Rory focuses on.
Right.
And I definitely recommend it.
I'm going to read it. It's definitely on the list. Just with regards to the marketing landscape, though, like for you as a professional, since from the insight that you got from studying to the things that you're doing now, has there been a change in your perspective of what marketing is and where it fits in with events?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of courses that kind of say, oh, this is how you build a campaign. And I think you can get so wrapped up in the idea of a strategy, and a strategy should have these amount parts to it, and it should be presented like this and like rolled out in a certain way. But I think, it kind of narrows down your thinking.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things is just to really be open to anything.
Yeah.
And really just take a step back and look, okay, what am I trying to do? What are the options? Literally don't rule anything out.
Yes.
I think when you start ruling things out and saying, oh, no, that won't work without trying it, I think that's when things could potentially go wrong.
Absolutely. And you not only are you not innovating, but you're also stifling your creativity and how to go forward. So I totally get that. Okay. So just with regards to, let's talk about PFA. So it's happening in April.
Yeah.
It's happening in Birmingham.
NEC
Birmingham, and it's one of a few events properties that you guys own that's happening at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So give us a little bit of background about it and what's going to happen.
Safety and Security Event Series.
Yeah.
So PFA is part of the Safety and Security Event Series.
Yeah.
It's the newest edition. So the series forms 6 co-located events.
Right.
In the safety and security industry. So we've got the health and safety event, the fire safety event, workplace event, security event, Pro Integration Future Europe, and National Cyber Security Show.
Right.
So the aim of the series is to provide a really unique platform where all of these parallel industries integrate. And so this series provides a space for anyone to kind of meet with new clients, distributors, integrators, end users, suppliers. And it's a really like integrated, inclusive event.
Awesome. And the couple of the events have been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And you mentioned there's some new ones are in there. Which ones have been going on? Which are the legacy events and which are the new ones?
Security event, I'd say, is the one that everyone knows.
Yeah.
It's huge.
What are the numbers? Like how many people usually go to it?
17,500.
Right, okay.
Just for the security event.
Right.
I think the exhibition space is 22,000 square meters.
Right.
So it is huge.
Crazy.
I actually haven't experienced it yet because I joined in June.
Yeah.
So I'm yet to. I'm very excited. But
awesome. Yeah. And that's April
28th to the 30th.
Right, awesome.
April, yeah.
Yeah, so those of you guys listening, so how do you get tickets for it? Is it because it's a free event, right?
Completely free. Get one ticket, you get access to all the 6 co-located events.
Right.
So if you go on the website, any of the websites, the security event, National Cyber Security Show, you'll be able to register for free.
Awesome. 2 more questions before we close off. I think I'm just getting away from the team here. Yep. So you've given us a lot of insight into you, where you've come from, your perspective on marketing, and also the industry you're working in at the moment, and all the things that you've learned, and given some great advice. And you're still, and this might sound really patronising, but you're still quite new to the professional world. And like one of the reasons I wanted to get you on on this discussion was I thought your perspective is quite unique, and also there's a lot of value to the people listening. But B, also really good to get some like young voices who are in this industry and hearing what you have to say. I think it's important. You're obviously having a good time. You're obviously doing really well. You're slowly becoming a captain of industry. That's what I believe. What advice would you give yourself now, knowing what you know now, even though you've only been in the industry a few years? is there anything you would tell yourself?
Ask questions. Literally just ask questions. Any thought that pops into your head, ask it. Because even though it may not seem relevant, you don't know what value or insight or what that person could give you, which could benefit you in your for your future career. The events industry is quite insular, so I'd say definitely network as well. Ask questions and network. It just forms relationships, really.
Awesome. Are you? Do you ever suffer from like imposter syndrome at all?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Interesting, because you don't sound like it.
Yeah. No, I think it. I mean, I think everyone does.
Yeah, it's natural
to an extent. Yeah. You think, but I think you've just got to back yourself. You've just got to sit back, really believe in yourself, trust the process, and just smash it.
Okay, so look, we're gonna wrap up. There's going to be some people in here that want to get in contact with you. What's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, Amy Dennis.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the best way.
Yeah.
Just hit me up. Yeah.
Awesome.
Any questions? You just shoot.
Awesome. Amy, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I know this was like your first ever podcast, so I really appreciate that. Those of you listening, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, we're at IC in Barcelona. It was a bit gloomy this morning, but the sun has come out. The sun is shining in Barcelona at ISC. ISC is shining as well. I got someone told me the figures of how many registrations they got this season, and it's like smashed last year's. I'm not allowed to announce them yet, but they're going to announce them in a couple of days. So yeah, if you're here at IC, make sure you're saying hello. Come to the Victor Exchange Live. Make sure you're hooking up with Amy as well. Like, I feel like, as many industry professionals, like old and new, should start to collaborate and connect with each other as much as possible. And I do believe you will be a captain of industry. So yeah, thanks for listening. And also, if you're sharing, make sure you use the hashtag Tiger Heart Chats, all one word. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please be good.